What is up, y'all? Within today's video, we're going to be talking about Kylie Jenner. If you guys did not see on the most recent episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians on Hulu, she kind of opened up about online bullying and she broke down and had like a really sad moment with her and Kendall because a lot of people were bullying her. I want to say during the time that they were filming this, I want to say like she just was going viral online for some like all natural pictures because she went out to, I want to say it was some fashion event in Paris. I want to say I'll put the picture up on the screen. And this picture had a lot of people talking online like, oh my gosh, she looks so damn old. And a lot of people came out, like a lot of, I don't want to say dermatologists, but what are the name of the people that do like the filler and stuff? Are they dermatologists? I don't know. You guys know what I'm getting at. The people that do the injections and things like that. They had came out and said this is the bad effects of getting filler too young because it migrates, and on top of that too, it changes the anatomy of your face and then ends up looking different. And obviously a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, like why does she look so different right here? Because obviously, look, just keeping it real, it was kind of bad lighting, and on top of that too, it did show a lot of imperfections, and it did kind of look like, oh, we can start seeing like this filler is either migrating or like maybe you dissolved it and like your face is just looking different. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people were talking about it online. I think that's what she was referring to in the episode. That's just my opinion at the timing of everything. Do you know what I mean? But I have to say, I don't know if it's just my For You page on TikTok, but I think that this whole episode was taken completely different than what the producers of the Kardashian were hoping for. I was thinking that like, oh, the Kardashian producers and them being executive producers on the show too. I was thinking that, oh, maybe they're gonna open up about this moment and people are gonna be like, oh my god, I feel so bad for her. And on my For You page, everyone and their mom is like, girl, you created this unrealistic, beauty standard. And now here it is coming to bite you in the ass. And this is your karma right here because now everyone's now making fun of you and talking trash about you. And obviously you can't live up to your own beauty standard that you created. Because obviously for years now, it has been a hot topic of what Kylie has done to her face. I've made this comment before. I don't care what anyone does. I feel like, honestly, look, if I had the money, I would get a hair transplant. I would do, there's so many things that I would do. Do you know what I mean? Hair transplant and boobs gone. Do you know what I mean? I would do like laser hair removal for my whole body. Like maybe I'd get a little bit of lip. Do you know what I mean? I would do some under eye filler. There's things that I would do. So I'm never going to judge anybody for getting work done. My thing is with Kylie specifically is she keeps on running this whole narrative that she only ever got her lips done. And I am so sorry. In my personal opinion, I feel like that is a blatant lie. Like looking at her before and after pictures and seeing her from the age of like, what was it? I want to say 16 years old to 18 years old, just how drastically she changed. But then if you look at the side by side comparisons of like Kendall when she was 16 versus 18, it's like, okay, she kind of looked the same. Do you know what I mean? Kylie's face completely changed. It looked like she got like jaw, like chiseling. It looked like she got a brow lift. It looked like she got cheek filler. It looked like she, of course, got her lips done. Like there's so many different things that it looks like she got done. And I'm just kind of like, she sits here and says, no, I've only ever got my lips done. That's where I get a little bit irritated because I feel like this is where you make like little girls out there believe like, oh, I'm 16 years old, so like maybe when I'm 18 I'm completely gonna change. I'm gonna get hips, I'm gonna get a butt, I'm gonna get like, you know what I mean? It's like if you guys look at, just literally Google her before and after and you will see that that's just not, you know what I mean? Which is totally fine. Like if you want to go and get all them things as soon as she became an adult and wanted to get all these surgeries, hey, she's a consenting adult. She has the money to do it. Do whatever. But I just don't like the lies. In my personal opinion, I just feel like if you're gonna go get all this done, keep it real, especially with your platform. You can't sit out here and give everyone false hope of like, oh, as soon as you become an adult, then everything's gonna fill out. And it's like, no, like most people hit puberty at like 12, 13, 14. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, you're not gonna change that much from 16 to 18. In my opinion. And I have to say, like, even on this most recent episode, she was still talking about her lip filler. She's like, oh, I've been dissolving my lip filler. And I'm like, do you think that's changing the rest of your... What does your lips have to do with your cheeks and stuff? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Anyways, we're going to be talking about that within today's video. Before talking about like all that and then like playing a small clip from the new episode, I do want to talk about this though, because I've been thinking about making a Kylie Cosmetics video. How do you guys feel the brand is doing? Because I honestly don't see anyone talking about Kylie Cosmetics anymore. I really feel like it lost its pizzazz and I don't think that she's connected to the brand that much anymore. I made a video before talking about like her coming out with her new clothing line, her coming out with Sprinter. Like she's trying to come out with so many different brands. Like she has like obviously Kylie Skin. I think she came out with like Kylie Baby. Like just so many different things that she's came out with. And I feel like her Kylie Cosmetics, which actually put her on the map obviously of being almost a billionaire, because I don't know if you guys remember, but Forbes like had put it out there that she was like the youngest billionaire, but then they took that title away from her because they said that there was like miscalculations within the brand. Also too, I'm so curious to know the behind the scenes of the whole Cody situation when Cody was going to purchase them out, and like they ended up like backing out of that deal, I think, because they did some miscalculations of how much the brand was actually selling per year. Do you know what I mean? Any which ways, I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts and opinions about Kylie Cosmetics. I was actually thinking about doing like a deep dive. I just wish that there was like public information, you know what I mean? So I could like sit there and look at the sales and sit there and look at the numbers. Because in my opinion, I don't know if I watch a lot of makeup content, and I just don't see anybody talking about Kylie Cosmetics anymore. I don't see anything new and exciting from the brand, and I really do feel like they are losing it. And if I'm keeping it real with you, from right now, the way that it looks, it seems like that brand can go under within the next 5 years, which is such a trip, being that it was almost $1 billion brand. So make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about that. I'm just so curious. Random, but kind of on the topic of Kylie Jenner. Anyways, let me shut up. Let's get into it. And when I say let's get into it, I mean let me get a drink of water. Let's go ahead and read this article right here from Teen Vogue. It says Kylie Jenner has been under a microscope since she was a child. The star was just 10 years old when Keeping Up with the Kardashians debuted and launched her family into the stratosphere of fame, and she has frequently spoken about the impact of so much fame so young. In a new episode of the Hulu series The Kardashians, Jenner began to cry when discussing her recent criticism of her looks. Jenner referenced the conversation around her use of filler after Paris Fashion Week, citing the internet as the reason for her feelings and saying, "It's a miracle I still have confidence and can still look in the mirror and still think I'm pretty." This is the picture right here that like everyone was kind of talking about online, because it's like, damn, how do I say this without being rude? Because it is going to sound rude, but like, you could kind of see that, like, okay, maybe the filters kind of did something. Do you know what I mean? And if I'm being honest with you, it kind of reminds me, and I'm not saying she looks like Lisa Rinna, but if you guys have seen like recent pictures of Lisa Rinna, you can see like, okay, this is way too much filler. Do you know what I mean? Lisa Rinna has went through these stages of like where she looks super overly plump and then she looks like deflated. Do you know what I mean? And this right here is kind of giving that like deflated type of look. I'm not even saying that to be rude, but clearly this is different from what we are used to seeing of Kylie. I still think that she looks beautiful. Like, to be so straight up with you, I am not just saying that just to be nice or anything. I'm like, look, yes, I do see these lines right here, and I do see that, like, okay, maybe this does look like filler migrating, but I still think she looks beautiful. And on top of that, too, I have to say, like, girl, you're rich as hell. I'm not saying, like, look, I'm not saying at the end of the day, like, people can't be bullied if they're rich, but it's just kind of like, get off social media then. Like, you have the money to pay for people to manage your social media, so just get off social media then and go fly around in your beautiful pink jet. Do you know what I mean? Look, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. Sometimes, obviously, and I know everyone always sits there and says, like, oh, money can't solve all your problems. But to me, I'm so sorry. It can solve like 99% of my problems, if I'm keeping it real with you, because I feel like if I was getting bullied online and bashed online, I'm like, I'd be laughing in my jet. Like, I'd be like, I'm flying to Greece in my private jet with my private chauffeur, my private pilot. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So sometimes it is a little bit hard for me to relate, because I'm like, I be getting online bullied and I'm like, I can't even afford a home. So, you know what I mean? Any which ways. At one point during the convo with her sister Kendall, Jenner began to cry. "I went on a journey last year, dissolving half of my lip filler," she said. Also, this is just my opinion. Yet again, you guys know I'm a very opinionated person. I don't want to hear it. In this picture, doesn't it kind of look like she still has a lot of lip filler? Am I crazy? I don't know. "I hate even having this conversation over and over again. It feels like it's a waste of my breath because I think with me, it is never going to change." Jenner said she's never cried over it before, but it clearly weighs on her, and it has been. "People have been talking about my look since I was 12 or 13, before I even got lip filler." And you know what? This is where I say I feel like it's so messed up. Like, especially, look, I get it. Like, obviously she's on a reality TV show, but people talking about kids' looks, and it's messed up. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously her in school, her being on tabloids, and her being on, all like TMZ and all this, having all these types of comments being made about you when you're so young obviously can be very, very, messed up towards your mental health and make you want to do things to your body and change things and tweak things. But this is where I'm so sorry. Like, I feel like this is where hopefully her parents would have like kicked in and been like, you can't be on social media until you're like 18. Like, don't you have to be 18 to be on social media anyways? Like, you know what I mean? Anyways, in her confessional, Jenner touched on how common these comments are and how long she's been dealing with them. However, that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. "I hear nasty things about myself all the time. I think it's just after 10 years years of hearing about it, it just gets exhausting, she said. I think I'm a really strong and I think I am really strong and I was put in the position for a reason. I do think of myself as a confident person, but I'm also human and there's only so much someone can take. Kendall said it feels like their family has been dehumanized and that there are no rules about how people speak about the Kardashian-Jenner family. They don't think we have any feelings, she said. Our family has been in the industry for a long time. Sadly, it's something we need to grow tough skin on. Her little sister agreed. I cannot let the comments get me down, she said. Which I do have to agree there. I do feel like, obviously, being that they're so rich and so famous, obviously people are just kind of like, okay, whatever I say is not going to matter. Look, I'm gonna keep it with you guys. I honestly am one of those people too. Like, sometimes I'll just be saying things and I'll be like, whatever, you're rich. Do you know what I mean? And that's not necessarily okay. And I fully acknowledge that. But also at the same time too, you grow this perception because you're kind of like, someone like me, I'm like, I'm fat, I'm bald, I'm poor, I have all these problems, I get online bullied, like, you know what I mean? You start tacking on all these things. I'm like, girl, at least you're rich and like all that, you know what I mean? And if you wanted to make enhancements to your face, you can afford to do so. I want to make enhancements to my hairline, and clearly I can't afford to do that. So I'm kind of like, girl, stop. Go change whatever you want to change, and that's it. But that's not okay. I know that's not the right outlook to have, but sometimes I feel like us as humans, obviously, we see these rich people, and we're just kind of like, you can afford to go here, go there, have this doctor, that doctor, and the best mental health team ever. Like, do you know what I mean? There's so many things that are at their reach that are not at like someone like mine's reach. Do you know what I mean? So once again, I'm not saying that it's okay, but sometimes it is obviously hard to sit there and sympathize with them because it's just like, girl, you're rich. Like I said, I know it's not okay. I'm fully aware. Anyways, Jenner has been forthright about how her family has contributed to her current beauty standards. In 2023, she told her sisters, all of us just need to have a bigger conversation about the beauty standards that we're setting. Jenner referenced her young daughter, Stormi, saying, I don't want my daughter to do the things I did. I wish I'd never touched anything to begin with. She also opened up about regretting her breast implants, which she got at age 19. Again, Jenner cited Stormi saying, I would be heartbroken if she wanted to get her body done at 19. She's the most beautiful thing ever. I want to be the best mom and the best example for her. I wish I could be her and do it all again because I wouldn't touch anything. I feel like nonetheless, obviously, she did it for a reason. And during that time, she was obviously feeling insecure. And I'm sure that when she did get those surgeries done, I'm sure it did give her a big boost of confidence. Obviously, I think that now that she's a mom, it changes her perspective on things. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, like, I'm sure Kris Jenner probably helped her out along the way. Do you know what I mean? But I do have to say this, though. For her, like, sitting there and, like, crying about everything, I'm just keeping it real with my opinions here. I feel like the Kardashians/Jenner are probably, like, the most vain family that we've ever known in pop culture. Do you know what I mean? So I'm kind of like, I almost feel like it's just a little bit ironic. Do you know what I mean? That I'm kind of like, okay, you guys are so vain. You guys set so many beauty standards. Kim Kardashian was actually just on I want to say on that same episode or maybe the episode prior to it. I don't keep up. I only see clips. And she was making a statement of like, oh, I only have 10 years of looking good left in me. And it's kind of like, damn, girl, you're putting an expiration to you looking good. It's kind of like, you know, I don't know. You see some women out there that look great until they're like 80. You know what I mean? And on top of that, too, it just kind of sets this flow to anyone who's 10 years older than you that is ugly. Do you know what I mean? For you to specifically say, I only have 10 years of looking good left in me, and then your sister's over here crying from like being bullied online. It's just about her looks. It's just kind of like, you know what I mean? Hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. Anyways, make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, Girl Scout.